Hello, Tristan. Can you believe it?
Hello, Kyle. I can't believe it. This is crazy.
It's a good day. It's a good day. Tristan, I always say there's three types of people who predict awards.
Yeah.
The first person, they start predicting around the Golden Globes. Lame-o.
That's crazy. That's
They're
what?
lame-o.
What are you even doing? What? The award
Second
season is like a
person.
month?
They start predicting around the fall festivals. Loser.
Oh, that's even
And
worse.
finally, the
What is
Chad,
that?
who never stops predicting.
No.
They start predicting the minute the Oscar ends. In fact, maybe they even start predicting before the Oscars even happen.
We have our 2029 predictions ready.
I know, we do. I was like thinking to myself, you know what? 2029, it's a lock. It's Avatar 4. I'm telling you right now, it's Avatar 4. Best Picture. Avatar 4 is happening. 2029 predictions.
Unfortunately, right now, it is the front runner considering it's the only movie scheduled for that year.
Very true. No, but we are the Awards Addicts. I'm Kyle. That's Tristan.
Hello.
We obsess about awards.
Yes, we
And
do.
we sometimes freak out when stuff happens. We sometimes predict awards when stuff doesn't go our ways. And it's a fun time. And we are here. We had a great blast last season, I think. And we're just ready to grow and do better. So this is our early Oscar predictions. It's March. So we're getting it done. We're going to do all 21 categories. That's 24 categories, excluding the shorts. So all 21 categories. It should be a blast. A blast.
Yes.
So, Tristan, are you ready to do Best Picture?
I am ready. Let's do it.
Your number one? Let's kick it off strong. What is your number one? What's winning Best Picture? Or not winning Best Picture? What's the most likely to get nominated for Best Picture?
I've realized that a really good way to predict early is to look at the studios. Look at what each studio has. There's about 8 studios right now that have been getting in films pretty consistently that are the big players when it comes to awards season. And obviously, you know, a film, if it's good enough, it doesn't matter. Look at Drive My Car. It was Janus Films that still got in. But think of it like a faction or a team or having a really good manager in sports, right? If you have, you know, a really good studio behind you, then they're going to put together a really strong campaign and market it. And, you know, so there's 8 studios right now that are consistently getting films in. And those are I'm going to pick one for each. And then those last 2 slots are going to go to either I'm going to double up on a studio or I'm going to go with one of the fringe studios like Apple, which sometimes gets a contender in there. And we know, you know, can get something to win, but not always. Or
they've only got one contender in there, and it was Coda.
Coda's The Flower Moon as well.
Oh, true. Well, that was a co-production with Paramount.
Yeah, which probably helped it out. So Paramount, that's another one that sometimes gets something in. So I'm going to start with what I think is, you know, just kind of an easy one to shoe in. Will it win Best Picture? I don't know. Probably not. But Wicked for Good, I am confident that this is getting nominated. I know some people are trying to predict that it won't. And, you know, like the sequel thing is a real thing. Like we've seen diminishing returns with Dune and with Avatar. But this is a different thing because we're going to be dealing with characters from The Wizard of Oz, which is so inextricably tied to the Academy's history. So you're going to have so many Academy members, you know, because in Wicked Part 2, I believe Dorothy is there, right? And like
at the very, very end, at the very end of the play.
Well, you know, I think there's going to be some sentimental value with this film. And I really do think that it's going to do just as well, if not better, probably better than the first one did at awards. And we saw Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, they started off the show. They kicked it off with a bang. Everybody loved it. And there were like people tearing up and just, it was a huge celebration of Wicked. And I think they've got something really good up their sleeves. I think Wicked is going to have a very good day on nomination.
The question about doing better. So it got 10 nominations this time around.
Yes.
We know that's getting +2 nominations because of both songs that are going to be added to display. I have no doubt in my mind that both songs that will be added to Wicked for Good will likely get a nomination. We'll get to that later, but
better with wins, not necessarily with nominations.
Oh, I thought you were talking about nominations. My apologies. Better with wins.
I would say
probably
8, 9. Yeah.
I do think it will probably get more wins, more than 2 wins. I think production and costume will probably realign, and it'll probably get like 1 or 2 more.
Song and Cynthia, I think, has a really
is winning song. She's getting her EGOT this year. I think it's Cynthia's
year,
but we'll get to that. We'll get to that soon. My number 1, Tristan. Do you want to take a guess? What is it?
Alpha.
It's not Alpha. I wish. Dude, if Julia DeCorno won Best Picture, you're going to see the biggest pop-off on this live stream. But no, it's Marty Supreme. This is my number 1 right now. And this is a risk. I think it's a risk. Really? I don't think... You don't think so?
It's my number 2, so we can just talk about it together.
Yeah, well, let's have a whole conversation right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
The thing with Marty Supreme is that, I don't know, Josh Safdie feels maybe a little bit too inaccessible. Maybe even on, like, if you're not including the actual art that he makes, but even on a personal level, he seems very high-tuned to the system. That I just don't know if he would be able to really succeed on a campaign trail. What gives me confidence in this is that the highest budget A24 has ever done, and it has that A24 coveted Christmas limited release date. You know, the Zone of Interest succeeded here, the Brutal succeeded here. This is like the kind of the spot where A24's main contender really goes in. And that's what's giving me the confidence to say that Marty Supreme is going to be A24's number 1 choice. I don't think anything else will come along that will really bump it on A24's, what we're going to push for the Oscar. So, I think that's a good choice to say for A24's nomination. You mentioned the 8 studios that always get nominations as of late.
Yeah.
I think this is a good bet for that A24 slot.
Yeah, I totally agree. A24, I think they're the big story with them this year is that they have both Safdie brothers movies, which is interesting. I think both will be in the conversation. I feel that a lot of people are leaning more towards, just based on the sounds of it and based on the fact that it already has a release date, people are leaning more towards Marty Supreme. That's the way I'm going to, because it's so rare that we see a studio campaign, like already start campaigning for a movie this far in advance. But like
Timothy posting the ping pong table.
Yeah. It seems like they're already starting to build the hype and they're doing it early. This is like many people's most anticipated film of the year just because of the sounds of it. The Safdie brothers, you're right, where they have been inaccessible in the past and Uncut Gems didn't do anything. But I think since Uncut Gems, they have gained so much respect in the industry. I know Josh wasn't involved with this, but Benny's worked as an actor on
Oppenheimer. He was in a Best Picture winner.
Yeah, exactly. And he, I believe Martin Scorsese was involved in either this or The Smashing Machine or both in terms of like helping them out. And he's seen both
I think
movies.
Scorsese's involved with The Smashing Machine, and The Rock is also going to be in the next Scorsese movie.
Yeah, which... We'll get to that. But
yeah,
I don't know why I necessarily have more confidence in Marty Supreme. Maybe both get in, it's possible. But I do feel based on the scope of it and based on the potential for nominations and the crew that's working on this. I mean, they have Darius Khondji as the cinematographer, and it seems like it spans multiple decades.
I think it's pretty safe in my head.
Yeah.
Obviously you can never really say with the early predictions, but I'm feeling pretty confident.
And I get where you're coming from because I think the Safdies are in a similar position as Sean Baker, where they built up all of this respect and they feel like this new, like, they're part of the new big dogs in film. And they haven't gotten any recognition yet, and this is going to be a huge project.
Mm-hmm. Well, my number 2 is, You might cringe. You might cringe when I say this, but it's one battle after another. I just can't deny a PTA Leo joint. Were test screenings good? Did you hear anything positive?
People said it was really fun.
Okay,
And
that's not
all that we know.
So whenever I hear something like that, that strikes me with some concern. Really fun is not necessarily if I was saying a movie was great or a movie was very good, I would not use the word fun to describe it.
Yeah,
that makes me feel like it's tiptoeing around what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But that's not very encouraging to hear. Really fun.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's adapted from Vineland, and funny enough, the last time PTA missed a Best Picture nomination was a Thomas Pynchon novel, Inherent Vice, in 2014. So that's a little scary.
Yeah.
But I have faith. In PTA, I trust.
I have it lower down. I didn't have it at first, but then I decided to go with my rule where I need to put a Warner Brothers movie in there. And it's possible they don't get one in this year because they're taking a lot of big swings, and they're going to have a lot of bombs this year. And I think, unfortunately, this one, it's what, $140 million. No way it makes back
120 million. Yeah. What's your number 3, Tristan?
My number 3 is Sentimental Value. I know, it's too high for you.
High.
Yes, this is my most anticipated film of the year. I am just a really big fan of Joachim Trier. Worst Person in the World is favorite movie of 2021. And I think in a different year, if that didn't release right when the lockdown, it was a weird time because the lockdown ended up happening again, and the pandemic was going on, and it was just it was a weird time for that to release, and it got lost in the shuffle, and it still got a screenplay nomination. So I think this new one, there's a lot of excitement behind Joachim Trier. It looks like I had to slot a foreign film in here, and I don't know if this is all in Norwegian or it's going to be an Anatomy of a Fall situation where it's some Norwegian, some English, mixed language. But Renate Reinsve, I think, between Worst Person in the World and A Different Man, has built up some cred. I think she'll get in for a nomination. It's going to be a father-daughter story that probably will be really resonant. Stellan Skarsgård is super overdue for a nomination, and I think he will get in quite easily. It sounds like a really meaty role.
Wait, wasn't he nominated for Dune Part 1 and Dune Part 2, though?
Yeah.
He wasn't nominated for Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again?
Oh, I can't believe that. That's crazy.
I agree with you there. I think Stellan Skarsgård is so overdue. He's my favorite of the Skarsgård brothers. I love him so much.
Well, he's the dad, but
you know what I meant. He's my favorite Skarsgård. I agree. My favorite person in the Skarsgård family.
He's a phenomenal actor, and he's done some really interesting work.
He's also my favorite Mamma Mia dad. I prefer him to Colin Firth and Pierce Brosnan. I'm sorry.
I gotta disagree. He's my least favorite Mamma Mia dad.
No, he's so fun.
I like all the Mamma Mia dads. They're all great.
No, no.
But yes, I do think there's a great case for him. And Elle Fanning could come along too. She's kind of overdue at this point. She's been in the conversation a little bit here and there for 20th Century Women, and now for A Complete Unknown. Not quite on the fringe of getting a nomination, but in the conversation. And this is going to be a meaty role. She's playing the actress that Stellan Skarsgård casts in this movie to lure his daughters into spending time with him because his daughters turned down this role. And it's going to be kind of a comedy of errors, but a really heartwarming and really he just draws his characters so well. Screenplay, maybe editing. I think it's got great potential. And I do think this is... Neon's got 2. that seem like they could be viable contenders. And I have that other one. Maybe I'll talk about it in a little bit, but sentimental value, I do feel very confident about.
Okay, so my number
pretty
3
good about
is
sentimental
Wicked
value.
for Good. Which we've
Nice.
already kind of talked about.
Yes.
And yeah, I guess this is just a safe choice. This is like kind of low hanging fruit. You
Yeah.
kind of know it's probably going to happen. I think there's a very narrow pathway where it doesn't happen, but so narrow that I just would never be able to predict until after the premiere of Wicked.
Yeah, I have to like squint to see that pathway.
I
And
know.
I don't want to squint. So yeah.
Exactly. So I feel fairly good about Wicked for Good.
Yeah.
I do think it will have a lower nomination haul, but just like Tristan, probably a little bit of a higher win haul. Maybe 3 to 4 wins is where I'm thinking it's probably going to end up.
Yeah.
And yeah, Wicked for Good.
My number 4 is from one of the 8 studios, but this one is like kind of the bottom of the 8 for me. Amazon MGM.
Oh my gosh, I've seen them before. It's After the Hunt.
They like barely squeezed in Licorice Pizza and Women Talking,
Okay,
but
so
they did get some big wins for screenplay for American Fiction and for Women Talking. And they have gotten something in 4 years in a row. Now, I will, again, not a top contender or anything like that, but they have a pretty big one on their hands this year. Luca Guadagnino, not someone who always makes the kind of films that are going to have mass appeal. I know a lot of people point to Challengers missing and say, oh, well, the Academy just hates Luca. He's not going to get in again. He got a lot of nominations for Call Me By Your Name, and Challengers was not seen as important. It was fun, but it was for a younger crowd, and it didn't have really any message or meaning. And not that you necessarily need that, but it was just a fun movie, and it's again very much geared towards a younger audience, and didn't have something like a lot of the times when those kinds of movies get in, whether it's Everything Everywhere All at Once, where people say that was geared towards a younger audience, that has like an emotional core that people can grasp onto, whereas Challengers it wasn't that kind of movie. And then Queer was like way too weird. After the Hunt is a drama. It's got a screenplay that has been circulating the internet for a long time, a couple of years, I think, and I think it was on the blacklist. And
I believe it was on 2021 blacklist.
Yeah.
So.
And people love it. People say that this is a phenomenal.
I have it on Drive. I have not read it, so it's publicly available.
Maybe I should, but yeah, I've heard great things about the script, and it's kind of tackling the Me Too movement. Julia Roberts, big comeback for her. She hasn't really done a lot recently, and she hasn't gotten an Oscar nomination since winning. Yeah, and people are saying this is the kind of role that's going to be really meaty. I heard some comparisons to Tar, so maybe she could win. I know it's kind of hard to compare anything.
It's hard to imagine that.
I think it's going to be great. You also have Andrew Garfield in a really meaty supporting role as a professor who gets accused of, I believe, sexual assault. And the person who accuses him, I think, is played by Io Debris. Yeah. So great cast. All 3 of them could get nominated. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross are doing the score again. The same guy who edited Challengers, who a lot of people thought was snubbed, could get redeemed for an editing nomination this year.
My number 5 is I'm playing it a little safe now, because now I'm like, okay, I have to lean on what has gotten nominations in the past.
Yeah.
And even if Avatar 2 was number 9 in 2022, it still made it in. So Avatar Fire and Ash,
Interesting. Sorry, I don't have this. I don't have Avatar.
Cringe.
Yeah, I
Cringe.
know. I know.
No, no, Avatar is
I
at the
I
bare
just
minimum going to be in the conversation.
I think I look at their slate and I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know if that's gonna
This
be
could
like
be Disney's
the
contender. Maybe you're talking about Searchlight not having anything. This could be the Disney rep.
but Searchlight, regardless of if Disney has something,
Oh
Searchlight
my
has gotten
gosh.
something in for like the last 20 years. So I'm not gonna bet against Searchlight. I don't know. I think it's definitely something that's smart to bet for. But I did not put it in. I have another. Actually, I don't have a 20th century film on my list. But Deliver Me from Nowhere is my number 11, which I'll
Mm.
talk about in a little bit. I heard James Cameron talking about this. Like I saw like an article, and he said, the first two were boundary pushing in a technical respect, and he said this one's going to be more focused on characters. There's no like water cinematography or
Yeah, I just have to predict it.
yeah, that's
It's
fair.
just too reliable. The past two movies got in, even
Yeah,
if it's not going to focus on any technical achievement. Um, the fact that he's focused on character actually does give me some hope.
yeah.
And I'm acknowledging that it could definitely drop out, considering that Avatar 2 is number 9 that year. But I'll keep it on until until December. I'm holding on to it. I had Avatar 2 at 1 in 100 odds, and I dropped it. And I picked it back up for like 1 in like 30 odds, like later on. I was so pissed. I had it so early on Gold Derby. So I'm
Yeah,
keeping Avatar 3 all year, baby, all year.
nice. Frankenstein was my number 5. Really tough because Netflix has like a crazy slate this year. They have multiple films that I think
I
could get in.
have 2 Netflix movies in my top 10, so we'll get to those soon.
Okay, I have another film in my number 10, but I might slot in a Netflix film. But Frankenstein seems like their big one. They paid a lot of money for this. It's Del Toro. It's his passion project. I know it's horror adjacent, but like it's Frankenstein. It's.
Have you read Mary Shelley's book? It's like pretty drama-ish.
Yeah, I haven't, but I've heard that it's more of a drama, like a gothic kind of thing, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
it's pretty much a gothic drama.
yeah, and you have tons of tech potential. Oscar Isaac is going to have 2 big films this year in The Hand of Dante and Frankenstein, and I think there'll be a push for him to get nominated. He has a pretty great career so far, and like is a really good actor, but just hasn't really had the roles outside of Inside Llewyn Davis. So yeah, I think he could definitely get a nomination, as could Jacob Elordi, although I don't know how big the monster role is going to be.
I mean, it's pretty significant in the second half of the book,
Yeah,
but it's like it's not as meaty as I would think. I don't think Jacob will get a nomination,
probably not. And Mia Goth's probably
unless he's like adding like something to it. No,
yeah,
not Mia Goth either. No,
yeah.
no. My number 6 is Michael.
Okay, I don't have this one.
I guess. I feel like there's people splitting. People are splitting between Deliver Me to Nowhere and people are splitting between that and Michael.
Yeah,
So when you said that you had Deliver Me Nowhere so high, like number 11, I was like, okay, he's not gonna have Michael in.
no.
I'm Team Michael though. I'm Team Michael.
Yeah.
Allegations damned. It'll pass through all of discourse with that $2 billion box office.
It sounds like a disaster in terms of like the production and having
The
to
funny thing
reshoot
is,
the
you know who
entire.
also reported on this? We're giving so much ad space to the town and the Puck News. Matt Boney was the person who reported on the Michael Jackson reshoot thing.
Nice.
So shout out Matt Boney.
Yes.
We just keep plugging you today. But I don't I think it's gonna make its November release date, right? It was originally slated for like an Elvis type release date, like in the first quarter, second quarter of the year.
Yeah.
So it was already like aiming to be done by like now, by like today. So I can't imagine the reshoots being substantial enough to delay it to a different year.
Well, from what I saw, they have to reshoot the entire third act.
Antoine Fuqua, are we expecting it to be the? We're not expecting like Paul Thomas Anderson here in terms of screenwriting. It's he can just slap something together in like 2 days, and it'll
Yeah,
be
that
fine for a Michael Jackson biopic.
that worries me though, because Antoine Fuqua is like kind of not a great director at all. I don't even like he's only
Was Bryan
had
Singer a great director? Jesus Christ, what are we talking about?
yeah, but I don't know. I really get bad vibes about this. I think it probably will get a nomination when it comes out, maybe. But I'm really thinking this is getting pushed to 2026 and could make way for the boss, Bruce Springsteen.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm not like 100% sold on that being a Best Picture thing either.
To be fair, I'm getting like big. We'll speak about this like right now because it's not any of our tens, but
Yeah,
I'm getting huge, complete unknown vibes from this.
and I think
But
it'll
like,
be good.
I get Bo Rap vibes from this Michael Jackson scenario.
Yeah.
And which one did better at the end? Bo Rap got more nominations than A Complete Unknown. Bo Rap got
Did
4
it?
wins. Yes.
Yeah, A Complete Unknown did really well though. We can't discount it.
Yeah. Okay. Come on. You know that if Michael makes $1 million, it's 100% getting a PJ nomination. 100.
Yeah, you are right, and it will absolutely make a lot of money. I mean, it's Michael Jackson, and people keep pointing to the Bob Marley movie, saying like, well, that didn't do very well, but I think Michael Jackson's on a different level in terms of mass appeal. Also, I think it's just going to be a bigger like release than the Bob Marley movie. And there's
It's
the
both
fact
Paramount, right? Both of them are Paramount doing it.
So this I heard
Or
is
is it
Lionsgate.
Okay, that's a red flag.
That is a red flag. Yeah,
That's a big red flag.
And I will
what was
say,
the last time Lionsgate got Best Picture nomination?
La La Land. Although that was huge.
Oh Jesus
It's a
Christ!
big one.
Oh dear
But
Lord! It's been almost a decade.
They kind of fell apart, but they've regrouped. They bought E1. They've regrouped. Yeah. I don't know. Lionsgate, Canadian company, apparently. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, it started in Vancouver.
Well, let's get to your number 6.
My number 6, I will read off of my phone. Hamnet.
Okay.
I don't know. It's.
I have read this book.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a bit about it. My 1 through 5, super confident about, and then 6 through 10, I just kind of I have questions. Number 6, yeah. So Hamnet, Focus has 2 big films, maybe 3 on the horizon this year. They have Begonia, which a lot of people are predicting that could very well be their one because they already gave it a release date, which is a green flag. But I don't know. I heard the original Save the Green Planet is just like so,
Haven't seen it.
So bizarre. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
It was
either.
it's like 2003 South Korean film, right? So
yeah,
that would like fit into like the bizarre campy territory. I think Yorgos would operate pretty well in to like elevate like an art house type of deal,
It's possible, but I've heard like even people who, like I have a couple friends who are like really into this kind of like that kind of cult film and say it's like it makes you want to take a shower. It's just like not like it's just gross and like totally like not an Academy thing. It's super culty.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll have to look more into Save the Green Planet. I might have to watch this movie very soon.
I will too for myself. And there is going to be social commentary. It has the November release date, which is a great sign. Will Tracy, how weird can it be? He wrote the menu. I don't know. I don't know about Begonia. I'm really on the fence. But Hamnet is the one I'm going with for now because I think Steven Spielberg is producing it, which is kind of like, whoa, that's really neat. I think there was someone else, like Sam Mendes, I think is producing it too.
Oh
So
wow.
it's got like a lot of big names behind it. Chloe Zhao is coming off of winning Best Picture and Best
Eternals.
Director. Yeah, she's very much in the club.
She's
Um,
I did not say that. I said she's coming off Eternals.
coming off Eternals, but this is her first like, prestige project since Nomadland. And I mean, yeah, it's going to be a costume drama. It's going to be like kind of a modern like feminist take on like the Shakespeare story. Is that right, or am I totally wrong on that?
No, you're right.
Yeah,
You're gonna notice I am severely like I only have him for a few nominations in total.
yeah,
And that's just because I have read this book. And it's not literature. It's like book talk. It's either Conclave or it's like gonna
I
be
think it's
like a big
Conclave.
crash and burn thing. Like it's gonna be like something where it's like, like a pulpy, fun novel that
Yeah,
people like to read. And she's just gonna elevate to a whole other level. And it'll be like a top contender for Best Picture.
yeah,
Or it's gonna be like or it's gonna go nowhere because it's like it's literally a book for like 17-year-old girls like fan to like be like, wow, this is such a fun romance. This is such a interesting
yeah.
story. It's a very good book. It's well written.
No,
The prose is very good in the book, but
yeah,
it's not like it's not serious fiction. It is not serious fiction, and I think a lot of people are confusing it because it has a Shakespeare aspect as
yeah.
it is serious fiction, and it's definitely not serious fiction.
Oh man, should I switch to Begonia?
No. I think there's
No,
a honestly, I think there's a good chance it's Conclave. But I just don't
yeah,
like. I didn't have Conclave at this
or
point last year. I'm not. I'm gonna need to see how it performs at the fall festivals.
yeah,
Before I'm
or
probably not gonna have this for a good while. So we're gonna keep talking about this, but I'm not putting this in until like September. So
it could bomb. Like I Zhao has like this problem where um she won Best Picture so earlier in her career that it almost puts a target on her back. And if her projects aren't excellent from here on out, people are going to be like, "Oh, you didn't deserve it. Like you're not great."
the thing
So
is, Nomadland is also kind of like it's very an esoteric like nonfiction book. Like it's very very different
yeah,
from the movie.
documentarian
So
almost.
she
Yeah,
has adapted books before into something super elevated, super different, super accessible for the Oscars while still being smart and so like she can do this. I know she can
yeah.
do a great hand
I
adaptation
I
and
love
it can
her. I'm
hit.
such a big fan.
But
So
like I just don't know. Like I'm just having bias. I've read the book. I think the book is
yeah,
good. I would give the book like 4 stars. But like it's like it's like a book for like college students.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's really tough because both of these movies, the material, like both of the focus contenders, the material they're based on just doesn't scream Oscars to me. But yeah, I think I do have to go with him, just based on the fact that you know I don't have much confidence in Begonia, and because I do see a lot of nomination potential for this. Jesse Buckley is going to have a big year. Same with Paul Mescal. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What's your number 7, Tristan?
My number 7 is One Battle After Another.
We've kind of talked about this a little bit already. Let's
We did.
go. Let's
So I'll
go.
just kind of skim past it. I am worried that it's going to bomb because it's like $120 million. And it's not going to make that back.
It's gonna have like the Babylon stink behind it.
Yeah, but it is Paul Thomas Anderson. And apparently it's going to comment on like Trump and um, Sean Penn, the character that he's playing.
So I haven't read Violent. I have not read Violent, but from my understanding, it's about Nixon era Republicans. But I think he's
Yeah,
adapting for the modern day, so it's gonna be Trump
yeah,
era Republicans.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. My number 7,
yeah.
Frankenstein. We've already kind of talked about this as well.
Yeah.
So, I I have all the confidence that this is going to be the Netflix contender this year. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
The photos that we've seen so far is so clean. Del
Yeah.
Toro is kind of on a hot streak.
Definitely. I've loved
And
everything.
it being faithful to the novel's amazing. It's a perfect novel. It's a perfect novel. This is serious fiction. This is serious fiction. So you know, I have all the faith. I have all the faith in Frankenstein. I don't know why I have it so low. I have all the faith, but I have all the faith.
How do you have all the faith and have it at number 7?
How do I have it below Michael when I have all the faith? Yeah. My number 8 is The History of Sound, which we are going to talk about now.
Yeah.
Movie is back.
Yes, they are.
Movie is back. They did The Substance last year. Got 5 nominations. That's crazy. That's crazy. What can they do with a traditional drama? With Josh O'Connor, Paul Mescal, World War I, gay people? Bro, this is peak. This is peak. The short stories adapted from is amazing, apparently. I haven't read it, but it's apparently very, very good. So I'm feeling kind of really good about this. I think it's gonna go to Cannes, and hopefully Tristan C. What is your number 8?
All right. So as I said, 8 studios that I have on here. The last one that I have to talk about is probably the one that's the most consistent. I think they've gotten at least one nomination for like the past 20 years or something like that. So, you know, you can never count out Searchlight. A lot of people have The Roses on their top 10, which understandably, Tony McNamara wrote the script. So that's a green flag. But it's Jay Roach, who I guess has had Oscar, films before with Bombshell and with Trumbo, but neither one of those are great movies. And with the changing Academy, I don't know. This is also like based on a Danny DeVito dark comedy. Like I don't see that. So I went with Rental Family, which stars Brendan Fraser as a man who goes to Tokyo and basically is hired to be a stand-in as like a family member at different events. And it sounds really heartwarming. And it's the guy who created Beef, who I think has a lot of potential. I know, TV to film transitions aren't always successful, but he's really hot right now because Beef like dominated that award season. And from the test screening was apparently amazing, like amazing reactions. And I think Searchlight usually sends their big contender to Venice. And to me, this feels like a Venice play. Brendan Fraser, I didn't actually, I'll be honest, I really didn't expect him back in the awards race after The Whale. I thought I was a one and done, but he's playing Eisenhower this year, and he's in
the D-Day movie.
Yeah,
that's a focus movie. Pressure. That's another one that you could talk about.
That maybe that's their Actually, that might be their one.
I know it's pretty baity.
That is pretty baity.
Did Searchlight acquire anything out of Sundance this year? Because they acquired Real Pain.
I don't think so.
No, they didn't.
There's a bunch that haven't been picked up.
My number 9. Do you want to take a gander?
A gander? I'll take a gander. What's your number 9?
I haven't said a Neon movie yet. I already mentioned I have 2 Netflix movies in my fin. So there's one more Netflix movie. There's a Neon movie. Do you want to take a guess at what my number 9 is?
Is it The Ballad of a Small Player?
Oh, you know me too well. You know me too well. I was a Conclave denier last year. Yeah. I was a Conclave denier last year. Until I became a Conclave truther very early on. No, but I never had
Yes.
Conclave. I had Conclave at like number 14 in
Yeah.
my early Best Picture predictions. I will not make that same mistake. If I crash and burn, it's not my fault. But I'm predicting Battle of the Small Player. I think it's getting in. I think we're going back to Netflix getting 2 nominations. We're going back to the 2019 to 2021 era, baby. We're so back. We're so back. Yes, Battle of the Small Player. It's looking good. It's looking good. Gambling, Hong Kong, Colin Farrell. That's like everything you need in a Best Picture nomination. Yeah. So the reason why I'm predicting is just because he had his past 2 films were the runner-up for Best Picture. I'm gonna predict it. I'm just gonna predict it.
Could this
I'm
win?
sorry.
Could this win Best Picture? Yeah, I don't know. I really want to predict this. Maybe I will in my number 10. I'm having a tough time, so maybe you can convince me out of what I have at number 9, and maybe you can get me to put a Netflix film in there instead. I have The Life of Chuck at number 9.
You're not doing that. Yeah, I don't think you should. I don't think. Okay, first of all,
I don't know.
Truth be told, I just don't think Neon will ever get 2 in. Neon always puts all their eggs into one basket and just run with it, you know?
Yeah, but Neon
This not having the October Neon release date, which is like the prime date that they usually do, their Best Picture contenders, is a little concerning. Like it being in July is like a little concerning. It's a little bit of a red flag. And also, we've seen this movie, Tristan.
Yeah.
We've seen this movie. I know you're bigger on it than I am. I gave it 3.5 stars. You gave it 5 stars, right?
4.5.
I know you're bigger on it than I am. Come on. Let's be honest. This is lone screenplay material. It is lone screenplay material. It's not getting a Best Picture nomination.
Mark Hamill, screenplay.
No, that's all the people who are like Mark Hamill's getting a supporting actor nomination last year. Those people are stupid.
Mark Hamill is so beloved, and he has scenes.
It's not happening. It's just,
I don't know.
It's not happening. It's lone screenplay material, Tristan. It's lone screenplay. Lone screenplay. It's lone screenplay.
It won People's Choice, and I get that People's, it got moved, but People's Choice is a great indicator of what the general public and the general industry, that not the cinephiles or the critics, but the general industry, what they feel. And it won. It triumphed over Nora. It triumphed over Emilia Perez. It was a massive success at TIFF. I didn't see a film there where I felt the energy as much as in The Life of Chuck Theater. And
I remember I was at a second showing ever of this movie. I was there on September 7th, and I was sitting in the theater shortly before Mike Flanagan gives a big opening monologue talking about the passion behind a movie, and everyone stood up and cheered. It was electric in the room. And then I watched the movie. I said to myself, that was interesting. Probably going to do very well on a streamer. At that point, I didn't think I was going to win the People's Choice Award.
Yeah.
But the passion was there in the audience. The passion was there. You're right. The passion was there in the audience. But let's be serious, Tristan. Let's be serious. No. It's lone screenplay. It's lone screenplay.
I don't know.
It's lone screenplay. Dude, the way that they adapt the prose in the movie is like actually insane. It's like all voiceover. This is not happening. It's not happening. It's a lone screenplay contender. That's gonna get a screenplay nom, but it's not gonna get a picture nom.
I really want to go with Ballad of a Small Player because I feel like that's the smarter move. But I do think Neon has what it takes now, absolutely, to get 2 films in.
If they would have done it with Worst Person.
Yeah, but that was years ago. Like post Nora. They're connected.
So you're using no precedent then. 0 precedent for that.
There's 0 precedent for that, but look what happened post Everything Everywhere All at Once. A24 got 2 in, and everyone said they couldn't. But Neon has more money than A24 because Neon.
They absolutely do not. What are you talking about?
They do. Which sounds weird. So Neon, the guy who runs Neon is like he runs Alamo Drafthouse. And because it's funneled into another business, they have a lot more disposable income than A24, which is only a distribution company. A24, they're just the studio, right? Whereas Neon has Alamo Drafthouse, and
I don't know if that's
it,
true. Okay. I don't
maybe
think studios
not.
are. I think perhaps the CEO of Neon or whoever runs Neon is also the CEO of this company, but I don't think Neon directly owns Alamo. And if they were funneling like extra Alamo funds into Neon, that seems very sketchy. Like,
I think Alamo Drafthouse is a front, and I think it's a front, and I think
yeah.
they're funneling
No, so
all
in
of their
America,
money
just so
into
you know,
Neon.
like studios are legally not allowed to own like theater chains.
But
Like that's why
it's
like Disney owns only
same
one
guy.
theater, like the El Capitan,
Yeah.
and Netflix owns like a couple like independent theaters, like one in New York and stuff. But
Let's
like
see.
they don't. I don't think theaters are allowed to own like theatrical chains, like especially not something like Alamo Drafthouse. Um,
Um, so Neon was formed by Tom Quinn and Tim League, the latter of whom is the founder of Alamo Drafthouse.
go. That's so cool. Yeah, you're basically saying I thought we were gonna have this conversation in animated feature when we start talking about Travis Knight and his sketchy dealings with Leica taking the
Yeah.
Nike money, but
Yeah.
but no, I don't think this is happening with Neon. Live Jack is just not happening. I'm not even gonna entertain this conversation. It's like number 25 for me.
My number 10 is Whitney Springs, which is
That's not
Paramount.
happening either. Dude, I'm sorry, that's not happening.
Yeah, it is.
It's
Um,
definitely not. It's like I'm pretty sure it's like gonna be kind of like a Paramount Plus thing. Like it's
is
getting a
it?
full theatrical release, but
Yeah.
like the way that they're marketing it is like it's like a streaming movie. So it's
That's
like
crazy.
I don't know how. If I feel like it's kind of fake news, sadly.
Yeah.
I was like I was like kind of all on it. I was like, you know what, this is gonna like hit so hard.
Yeah.
But like I think it's more of a I don't know if they're really thinking about it that way. I think they're doing it for commercial plays to have like, hey, South Park guys and Kendrick Lamar are doing a slave musical with us. Please come watch, and they're gonna make like a lot of money. If the word of mouth is really that good, it'll probably do like really well at Critics' Choice. And like maybe that could be enough of a boost to get it into a few categories, maybe even Best Picture. But I just don't see it at this point.
It sounds really interesting though, and I see those two like you know getting a Best Director nomination. Trey Parker and Matt Stone. I see it. I see
I'm
it like the
sorry.
Daniels. Like the Daniels.
Alpha.
Yeah, I don't. Is that your number 10?
It's either that. I'm gonna do a Neon movie. It's either that sentimental value, or
Life of Jack.
maybe Life of Chuck.
Or I Love
Maybe Boots
Boosters.
Riley. I Love
Yeah.
Boosters.
Is that coming
But
out? If it is,
that
maybe.
is it's in post production, so it could come out.
Yeah. Demi
But
Moore,
I don't
come
really know.
back. Come
Yeah,
back
maybe.
nomination.
No, I'm gonna do. Dude, I want to do Alpha so badly, but I just can't. I'm gonna do sentimental value. I'm just gonna do the easy choice.
Yeah.
Joachim
Good
Trier,
choice.
previous screenplay nomination for him. I think Renata has been on such a big upswing lately. It has all the elements. It's probably getting a Cannes premiere. It's probably going to get decent to good reviews at a con. Maybe a 6 Palm d'Or win for Neon.
Yeah.
So, sentimental value it is. That's number 10. Now, we're gonna need to. We've already been recording for quite a long time, so we're gonna go through like 50 movies right now, and we're just gonna
Yeah.
quickly just give our quick thoughts, on all of these. Okay, Ella McKay, how are you feeling about this one?
I don't see it. I do like
As good as it gets.
yeah, I know James L. Brooks was like the king for a while there. He was always getting Oscar movies in. I believe he has 3 Best Picture nominees and a Best Picture winner. But I just don't see this because his last movie I don't think was very good. And it stars with Emma Mackey, and there's not really that much cast in it outside of that. And it's
I mean,
20th
Woody
century.
Harrelson, Jamie Lee Curtis,
Oh
Ava
wow,
Gardner,
that's pretty
Albert
good.
Brooks. You
What?
know,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, kind
Um,
of stacked.
it is kind of stacked. How are you feeling? It's 20th century. They've got a stacked lineup
I
this
feel
year.
kind of semi decent about it.
Yeah,
I feel like definitely actress and screenplay buzz for sure.
yeah,
Probably doesn't materialize anything. I think it's going to be a little bit too middle of the road.
yeah,
And it's probably not going to be as politically relevant as you would hope. So I think they'll probably like it's giving like 72 on Metacritic.
yeah. Yeah, I love James L. Brooks. I think he's one of the greatest of his era. But yeah, I don't see this. I think it might be good or okay, but I don't think it's going to be great. And I see it as like a September release. TIFF, maybe. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anne Lee, we briefly mentioned this. Mona Fastful and Brady Corbett's follow up
yeah,
to The Brutalist.
could
Yeah.
happen. I don't
I think
know.
Amanda Seyfried is probably its best bet. I
Yeah,
think Pictures into Play. It's a musical, so screenplay. I'm not feeling super confident that Brady Corbet and Mona Fastful can get a second nomination.
yeah.
Um, but it's definitely in there. Mona and director is the question. That's the question. I'm curious to see if that can happen for her. Okay, the Smashing Machine. How are you feeling about this?
Definitely in for acting. I think Dwayne will be a player. I do think it would be an acting screenplay player. It could be on the fringe where it's like, 11, 12, 13 kind of thing, or it could make it in. I think it will be A24's second contender. Um,
Interesting.
and I'm expecting this maybe to go to Cannes or because it's finished, or to Venice, and then Marty Supreme maybe does New York and then premieres later in the year.
I think I already previously mentioned this to you, but I believe A24 second contender is actually going to be the drama, Christopher Borgli. How do you feel about this?
I was really high on it really early in the season, and then I've heard it is early in the season, but I've heard absolutely nothing about it.
Mm.
And I've just heard kind of
It's
like,
so slated for 2025, so
okay, yeah, maybe this could be Venice or Telluride
yeah.
probably.
I
Did you
had
say?
this like in my lineup. Yeah, I think it's probably gonna do a fall festival thing.
Yeah,
It's giving We Live in Time.
yeah,
It's like I think it's gonna be like a romantic type movie, but it'll probably falter near the end. But like as of right now, I'm still pretty high on it.
it,
I'm hoping
it
for the
it
best.
sounds a little bit like Malcolm and Marie, but I trust Christopher Borgli. I think he's kind of more interesting than
Sam
like,
Levinson.
yeah,
Interesting. Interesting. Wait, are you a
yeah.
Barry Levinson fan? Are you a fan of his father?
I am. I love
Yeah.
Rain Man. We're not
About
going to
myth.
talk about Barry Levinson Alto Nights. That's getting
No, dude, that comes out, dude. I'm gonna
so
be honest.
excited.
That poster has been in my theater for
Yeah,
like months and months now. So Untitled Catherine Bigelow political thriller,
no,
Zero Dark 30, Hurt Locker Best Picture winner, the first woman to win Best Director,
yeah,
Catherine Bigelow, her comeback, Netflix movies, missiles heading to the White House in real time. This is a real time. It's like going to be a 2 hour movie. It's going to be 2 hours in real time in a movie. It's going to be like Saturday night.
yeah.
But it's with like missiles heading to the White House. There's going to be like it's going to be snappy, snappy, snappy. How are you feeling?
This to me reads more like her action stuff combined with the political thrillers that she was doing. But I think she is going to lean like kind of more action. It sounds like a more politically biting White House Down. Um,
Idris Elba
and
plays the president.
yeah, it could be good. But I don't know. Detroit really did nothing back in 2017. I feel like people are kind of done with her shtick. And even like Zero Dark 30, I know like people that's kind of gotten like recent backlash. Like people don't think it holds up that well. I've never seen it. so I can't say
Neither have I.
anything. But I don't know. I don't know. Like, she had her time where she was like really huge, and I'm sure this will do well on Netflix. But I don't know if people are really excited for a new Catherine Bigelow White House action thriller.
Yeah, that's my thought
Maybe I'm
process.
wrong.
I'm getting like I feel like this is like a commercial play for Netflix. I think that it's
Yeah.
gonna open to number one on Netflix. People are gonna watch it.
Maybe sound like a Civil War where it's like
Yeah,
on the
maybe like a
cusp.
sound nomination or something. Sound
Yeah.
shortlist. If it's like real time, maybe. I don't think so.
Editing?
I was gonna say editing, but probably.
Yeah.
Yes,
I don't
probably
know.
like top stuff.
I don't see
But,
this being a critics play.
yeah. Train Dreams. Netflix acquired this out of Sundance. Got great reviews. This
Yeah.
is Clint Bentley and Greg Quayar's follow up to Sing Sing. This time it's just like Mona Fastball and Brady Corbet, where they write the screenplays together, but they just alternate directing.
Yeah.
Now it's Clint Bentley directing, and Greg Quayar is screenwriting it with him. They can do it with Sing Sing. Can they do it with Train Dreams?
I'm looking forward to this for sure. I don't know. This is a weird one because I didn't hear like a ton of buzz when it first premiered.
It got really good reviews. I've heard
And
a
then-
lot of stuff about Joel Edgerton and stuff.
Yeah, it did. I saw like a lot of 3.5s and stuff, but then once the festival ended, like people were saying, "Oh my god, this movie's incredible." Apparently, I'm hearing it's like comparisons to Terrence Malick, and it's very which doesn't make sense.
The
to
idea
me
of a
at
Sing Sing
all.
guys making a Terrence Malick movie is pretty funny.
Yeah,
But, okay.
doesn't make any sense. But I mean, like I'm looking forward to it. I love the cast. I thought Sing Sing was really good. And this looks like it's a completely different direction. But I think this will be an indie spirits thing. Maybe cinematography, maybe it'll be in the conversation for that. But I don't see it being, it sounds like very cerebral. And we have a Malick movie coming out this year. I feel like
Maybe. Do we know that?
Maybe that. I feel
It
like
wasn't
there's-
completed as of January 2025. As of this
Maybe
January, it
not.
still was not completed.
There were rumors it'll pop up at Cannes, but
He
who
has been
knows?
editing this movie. He finished production on this movie at the end of 2019. He's been editing this movie for like 5 years now.
It's crazy.
But
Yeah.
we will see. I do think it is going to come out this year. I think it's going to be a camp premiere. It's going to come out Christmas Day to celebrate Jesus' birth. It's going to complete with Marty Supreme, and I will be watching Terrence Malick because I want to celebrate Jesus' birth on Christmas, baby. Screw Timothy Chalamet and the ping pong guy. No. We're celebrating Jesus tonight. Should we move on to Way of the Wind? Do you think this has a chance? Malick has only really broken out twice with Thin Red Line and Tree of Life into the Best Picture race.
I will say though, if you go back and look at like the nominations that Days of Heaven got, I think if there were 10 nominations, it would have definitely been in the Best Picture conversation. His 3 most acclaimed movies were very widely embraced by the Academy. So I think if it's a great movie, then it gets in because a lot of people jive with him.
Die My Love. This is really high on a lot of people's lists. Jennifer Lawrence is like number 1 on like some people's like major contenders.
And she's producing it too, I hear.
Yeah. The thing is, I have not read this book, but I own the book. I like skimmed the book when I was buying it in the bookstore. Yeah. I was like, this does not seem like an Oscar thing. It's like a novella. It's like a very short novella.
Yeah.
And it's like it is it does not seem like an Oscar thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's Lynn Ramsey, who is not really an Oscar person.
No. Not at all.
So I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the closest she had to any success at the Oscars would have been We Need to Talk About Kevin.
No,
sorry.
You were never really there. You were never really there. Had like Joaquin hype.
Yeah, but I don't think that really materialized. Whereas I think Tilda was nominated for We Need to Talk About Kevin, like at certain places.
Yeah.
I don't know what she got, but I feel like she got something big.
Yeah. Sorry. Die My Love. I'm curious about it. We'll see. I'm going to read a book soon, so we'll see.
Yeah. We'll see.
Deliver Me From Nowhere. We've kind of talked about it a little bit.
Maybe. Yeah, I think that could... I think no matter what, especially if Michael doesn't come out, we're gonna hear a lot about this during award season. I think Jeremy Strong and what's his name, Jeremy Allen White, the Jeremys, I think are going to be big talks of the season. But I don't know whether or not it's just kind of like The Apprentice, where it gets 2 acting nominations, or if it's a full-on Best Picture contender, like a complete unknown. We'll have to see.
Highest to lowest, Spike Lee, summer release.
I don't know. This
High
stars
to low was amazing. Denzel, ASAP Rocky, Ice Spice.
Ice Spice. No way. No way. Ice Spice.
Ice Spice supporting actress nomination. Is she
Spice.
playing Is she playing the secretary in Highest to Lowest?
I have no idea.
Have you seen High to Low?
No, I have not. Okay. I got it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Of course, it's called Highest to Lowest with the 2. That's like the most Spike Lee thing in the world.
I know.
I love Spike Lee. I'm a huge fan. I don't know. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. It could be really fun, but I don't think it's an Oscar player. But I'd
Jay
love
Kelly.
him to prove me wrong.
Noah Baumbach.
Yeah, this is one of my most anticipated of the year. Huge Noah Baumbach fan. I just, what is this even about? Because there's like no
It's
plot
a coming of age, but for young adults. Adam Sandler is in it. He plays a father. George Clooney plays a brother to Adam Sandler. Laura Dern plays Adam Sandler's wife.
I'm very excited for this movie. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it yet. I think a Clooney comeback needs to happen. He's the GOAT.
Is he?
I love George Clooney. I love that guy.
F1, Brad Pitt, his co-star. Yeah. Joseph Kosinski got a Best Picture nomination with Top Gun. Can he do it again with F1?
We saw a trailer for this.
It looks mid.
Yeah, it looks okay. I think it'll definitely be in the conversation for sound.
Oh yeah,
that's about it.
Oh yeah, Mother Mary.
Yeah, that's interesting to
David
me.
Lowery.
I think this could be like a challenger situation, where it's just like very online, and like the younger generation, this is like their favorite movie of the year. I say that like we're not part of that generation. But like Charlie XCX is doing the music, and Jack Antonoff, and you have Anne Hathaway and Michaela Cole, and it seems it's very buzzy. It's this like long melodrama about a fashion designer and a pop singer, hyper pop, I think.
Yeah, Michaela Cole and Anne Hathaway. Interesting.
Yeah, Lowry doesn't always hit for me, so I don't know.
I love Pete's Dragon.
Yeah, it's good.
I love The Green Knight too.
I don't love that. I love I don't love it, but I really like Old Man and the Gun.
Haven't seen it.
It's so like I don't know. It's just really has this like classic feel to it. I love those old actors coming back and doing something like Robert Redford, Sissy Spacek, awesome duo.
You know what's interesting? Charlie XCX's also acting movie, Greg Araki's I Want Your Sex.
Yeah, this is not. This is definitely no.
Olivia Wilde and Cooper Hoffman having a sexual relationship?
Yeah. No, Greg Araki's pretty extreme. Like to the point where I don't think it's gonna reach a wide audience.
Mastermind. Kelly Reichardt. Josh O'Connor. Again. Yeah. Josh O'Connor's killing it this year.
As an art heist person. Yeah, I'm kind of like waiting for Kelly Reichardt to have an Oscar breakout, but her movies are just so incredibly subtle that they don't.
This will probably go to Cannes this year, and I'm assuming after Cannes probably will go to NIF, and it'll probably be released sometime after that.
Yeah, her last 2 movies got held till the year after.
Yeah, Showing Up and First Cow.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with this one.
But, A Big Bold Beautiful Journey, Koganda.
I had this in my 10.
I know.
Because
we talked about this.
Yes, I did. And then I found out it's about a magical GPS. And then I got scared and took it out. But It sounds awesome. It's Margot
Delayed
Robbie.
from May to September.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So it'll probably be at TIFF, which means Margot and. By the way, TIFF's going to be crazy this year. TIFF 50.
Hit 50. Yes. Wake Up Dead Man, A Knives Out Mystery. Josh O'Connor, again.
Again.
He's cooking this year. He had a
He is.
Sundance movie. He has History of Sound. He has Mastermind. He has Knives Out. Just on fire. Just working.
Yeah, I think this is gonna do exactly what the first two did.
Yeah. Okay. So
Screenplay.
low screenplay.
Although Glenn Close.
Materialist. Let's talk about Materialist. This trailer was ass. So no.
Oh,
No, thank you. No.
I thought
I'm
it was
excited.
cute.
I'm gonna watch it, of course, because my lovely wife Dasha is in it. But
Which she
From Red Square?
is. She's in it.
yeah, Dasha's in the movie.
Oh,
So in
yeah.
whatever movie she does. Her previous film, The Beast, Bertrand Bonello's The Beast, was in my top 50 year. So always support Dasha. Always support Dasha. So I'm very excited for Materialist, just for her. Not for Pedro Pascal.
I do think that this is going to be really cute and good. I think it's just interesting. Like she's doing the love triangle again, but a very different like setting and different feel to it. Like this feels like Nora Ephron, James L. Brooks, Nancy Myers, like that kind of smart romantic comedy. And it's not going for Oscars. That's not. Well, it could be Golden Globe musical or comedy. I could definitely see that. But it's going to be a really nice summer release. Probably will be one of those that starts out slow at the box office, but I could see it being a sleeper hit because you have these three giant stars in it who feel like kind of tailor made for this kind of rom com. I think it'll be really good. I'm excited. Yes.
But The Phoenician Scheme, Wes Anderson. No.
It'll be It'll be interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
We'll see.
If I had legs, I'd kick you. Could Rose Byrne get an actress nomination for this? Maybe.
Yeah, I do think.
Soon.
I do think she'll be in the conversation, but I think it's her or nothing else.
Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. A lot of people are saying the last one could do it.
Yeah,
Eddington.
Mission Impossible would be in my 11 to 50 range.
Oh, that's crazy.
Maybe 15.
Ari Aster Eddington, a Western.
No.
COVID-19 pandemic.
I think it'll be bad. I think that would be bad as well.
Yeah?
I don't know. Isn't it based on a Ishiguro novel?
It is, but it's one of the lesser ones. It's one I have not read. It's on my bookshelf because I have every Ishiguro novel. But yes. Wildwood, we have to include one animated movie in here. Could Laika finally do it? Could Laika do it? The Idiot.
What's that?
Sandy Ton's new movie. I don't know. Never mind. Just forget about that. Hedda. Nia DaCosta, Amazon.
I think actress, maybe costumes could happen, but I don't think this will be an all.
I think it would be a broad contender. I think it could max out 10 nominations, but it's probably going to get 2. The Rivals of the Amzaya King. This premiered at South by.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Insanely good reviews.
Yeah. Looks. I mean, Andrew Patterson, one of the most exciting filmmakers right now. I loved The Vast of Night. That was so clever. Such a smart movie and a cool way to make sci-fi on a shoestring budget. Indie Spirits for sure. Matthew McConaughey could be in the conversation. It'll be on my list. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He plays a beekeeper. That's awesome.
No Other Choice. No New Park Chan-wook. Sorry, baby.
I've seen this movie. You have too, right?
I have.
I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
It gives me lone screenplay at best.
Yeah, it's too small and offbeat, but it's very well done. I loved it.
Speaking of Naomi Aki, though, Mickey 17?
No.
Caught
It was
stealing.
okay.
Darren Aronofsky.
No, it's
Austin
August
Butler with a mohawk.
I don't know. I'm excited for it, but
Superman,
maybe actually this could be. I think it's gonna be great.
Barbie. It could be this
Yeah,
year's Barbie.
it could like inspire hope. At a time when people need it most.
That sounded so dumb. The Secret Agent. This is that Wagner Moura movie a lot of people are really hyping up.
It's it's in my actor predictions, like in the 6 to 10 range. I
Interesting.
think people are trying to predict another Brazilian film, but Wagner Moura, I think, got some hype with Civil War, perhaps. He wasn't in the conversation at all, but
Yeah.
I think Wagner Moura, you know, solid actor from what I've seen. So maybe.
And the Moama, the Daniel Day Lewis out of retirement movie from it's directed by his son Roman Day Lewis.
I think this is kind of just a family project. I'm excited
I
for it, but
think you're wrong. I think there's going to be some people who just insanely glaze Daniel Day Lewis just because it's come back.
maybe.
Pressure. You know any thoughts about this?
This could be an acting contender.
It could be an everything contender.
It could be an everything contender.
It could be an everything contender.
Who's directing it?
Anthony Morris. I don't think he's done anything super serious before.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to predict someone who hasn't done anything. It could also be like a nothing movie, like The Current War with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oliver Azayas has a movie called The Wizard of the Kremlin. Oliver Azayas has never hit with the Academy because his movies are too good. He'll be number one on phone comment at the end of the year for this movie, but he will not be in the Academy lineup. But what do you think? Wizard of the Kremlin? A little more accessible.
I actually think this could get in, but I don't think it's coming out this year.
Oh, really?
It's in
post.
Is it? I might slot it in because isn't this is like commenting directly on what's going on in Russia, right?
I don't know if it's about current day Russia, but it's definitely anti-Russia. Yeah,
Which
but like
is interesting.
Oliver Azayas, his movies always get on that film comment top 10.
Yeah,
I've never seen his film ever on like the Oscar space.
No, but he's not like super inaccessible.
No, like Carlos is like a movie anyone can enjoy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he. It's just because he's more like on the art house side. Jacques Audiard had no awards traction, but he's someone who I could have seen making an awards movie, and look what happened. So
Linklater has two movies. One about the making of Breathless, which will premiere at Cannes, I'm assuming, and one called Blue Moon about the opening of Oklahoma, which premiered at Berlin. Two mixed reviews, but great reviews for Ethan Hawke.
Was it mixed? I heard it was all pretty solid.
It was good reviews. Like Todd Haynes glazed the movie. He was a jury president this year. Yeah, he was very big on Blue Moon. Yeah, but I saw some negative reviews for it.
I'm really excited. It sounds good. I think they'll be in the conversation. Both him and Andrew Scott for Blue Moon. I don't think it'll get in at the end of the day because I just think it's going to be too small. The French movie that he's doing,
Novella Vague about Breathless,
really intriguing. That could actually be something. That's on. That's right. That could be huge. That could win the Palme d'Or. Actually, I'm calling it. Linklater Palme d'Or. It's happening.
Has it been acquired for distribution? Maybe Neon will acquire it.
No.
That would be Neon's contender. Yes. The Lost Bus. This is the one that has a lot of people talking. Paul Greengrass.
I don't see it.
The collaboration. Anything to say about this?
No, it's nothing.
I think the last one we're going to talk about is Kiss of the Spider Woman, which premiered at Sundance.
This is really interesting because I've talked to Darren. Darren saw it, gave it 5 stars. Everyone at that premiere apparently were buzzing about this movie, like instant Oscar contender, 8 nominations. People were saying, nominations for the star Tanatua, nominations for Jennifer Lopez, and I thought it would get picked up the next day, and it still hasn't been picked up. Mubi was apparently in talks to acquire it. They didn't buy it. And then the press screening happened the next day, and it got really mixed reviews, and it kind of killed all the momentum. If this is huge at TIFF, I think it has a comeback, and if it gets a good distributor, like Searchlight could realistically pick this up. I do think this has mass appeal. Bill Condon has gotten Oscar movies in before, like Gods and Monsters, that did really well. Oh, Dreamgirls, yeah, he's
Oh
had a
yeah, of
couple.
course.
I definitely have my eye on it. It would be in my 11 to 15 range,
Mhm.
I'd say.
Okay. Well, those are our best picture predictions, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye bye, everyone.
See ya.